Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, I want to talk about communication today, and specifically, what I want to talk about is some people believe that you have to be the loudest voice, that you have to be someone who is disrespectful, right? That you have to, a lot of times, downgrade yourself, right? So that you can get your point across. Some people feel like, you have to cuss someone out to get your point across. And a lot of times people underestimate the power of silence and humbleness. And there are those people who would look at your humbleness as weakness, right? Look at the fact that you may not always be the loudest voice in the room, and you may not always be screaming to the top of your lungs, and you may not always want to cuss someone out so that you could voice your opinion. But that's not the only way that you can get your point across. You don't have to cuss with everyone. You don't have to downgrade yourself by cussing at everyone. You don't have to destroy your character because people are acting a certain way that you are tempted to get outside of your character, get outside of who you are, who you have strived to be. So I'm a believer in you can use the power of silence to deal with a lot of things. A lot of times, all you have to do is say nothing. And just the fact that you are not contributing, you are not adding to anything that someone is saying, is that within itself is a powerful thing, because it means that I will not engage. And this is something that I think a lot of people have to practice, right? I will not engage in anything that takes me out of my character. Because a lot of times, people will come at you in different ways, and they'll challenge you and push you to see how they can get you to change, and to get outside of who you are, who you really are, who you're comfortable in being. And all it does is to just bring you down. It brings you down to their level. And you don't want to have to come down to someone's level necessarily, right, to be able to get your point across. Now, if you're teaching, right, and you have to speak a certain way and you have to use a certain type of vocabulary or whatever the case is, that's different, right? If you're trying to relate to someone at a certain level and so you have to meet them at that level, then that's different. But when you have to downgrade yourself, when you have to destroy your character, right? Because you have to bring yourself to that level where that person is, to be able to have some type of conversation with them, then I don't think that that is something that you really want to engage in. You can't have people take you out of who you are. So you don't have to be the loudest voice in the room to get your point across. You don't have to feel like you have to cuss everyone to get your point across. Sometimes when you just don't give people the time of the day, that alone, that alone lets them know that you don't even have time to put up with whatever it is that they're bringing your way. You don't even have time to respond to whatever it is that they're saying, because it doesn't matter. And in some ways, that is more powerful than you taking. See, when you take your time to respond to some people, it makes them feel relevant. When you completely ignore them, it lets them realize that they are irrelevant. And so you don't have to give them relevance. And that's what happens a lot of times. You give people relevance by engaging in this back and forth, in this dialogue with them. But when you ignore them, when you treat them with silence, if you say something one time and they don't respond and you never say it again, they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what your next move is. You don't always have to forecast where you're going and what your next move is, right? Because you feel everybody has to know. That's not how you go about doing stuff, right? It's not always what you say, it's how you say it. It's not always what you do, it's how you do it. And so that's something I want you to think about. Sometimes when you engage in the back and forth and the cussing or whatever, you just make them relevant. They make you upset. And a lot of times they might not even be thinking about you beyond the fact that they had a conversation with you that make you upset. And here you are running around all day, all week, all year, just mad and upset. And they're probably not even thinking about you. That's because you have made them relevant by responding to negativity. So don't respond to negativity and make people feel more important than they are. Step away. Sometimes silence is the best response that you can have. So let me know what you think about today's video. I thank you for taking the time to, spend some time with me and to watch. Please respond in your comments, right? I look forward to your comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications. Please share the videos and click the like button. And until next time, peace.